Right this second, your body is fighting a war you can't even see. Some of these battles are happening deep inside yourselves, and others are coming from the world all around us. So today, we're going to dive into two of these invisible wars and talk about a brand new ally that is, well, pretty surprising. This is a question you hear all the time, right? And it just hits you right in the gut. It's confusing. It's deeply frustrating because it seems so unfair. You do everything you're supposed to, you follow all the advice, and yet the disease can still show up. So really, how is that possible? To figure that out, we have to start by looking inward. And to get to the bottom of that question, the first piece of the puzzle is understanding an enemy that doesn't invade from the outside. No, this is different. This is a rebellion that starts from within our own bodies. Okay, just try to wrap your head around this number for a second. 330 billion. That's how many of your cells get replaced every single day. It's this non-stop factory of renewal happening inside you. But think about it. If you make 330 billion photocopies of something, eventually a few are going to come out little wonky. An error is bound to slip through. And really, that's what cancer is at its core. It's what happens when one of those tiny errors makes a cell basically forget the rules. It stops listening to instructions. So instead of dying off like it's supposed to, it just starts growing and dividing and growing totally out of control. But here's the cool part. Our bodies are totally ready for this. We've got this incredible built-in security system. You can think of the P53 gene as the security guard on patrol. It spots damage and hits the pause button so it can be fixed. Then you've got apoptosis, which is kind of like the filter, telling old or broken cells, all right, your time is up. And on top of all that, you have repair genes acting like mechanics, constantly fixing typos in your DNA code. So, here's the billion-dollar question. What happens when the security guards, the filters, and the mechanics themselves get broken? Who's in charge then? The scary truth is, nobody. And that's the moment. That's when a rogue cell can finally slip past all the defenses and start that uncontrolled growth. Okay, so that raises another pretty big question, right? It's not always just a random roll of the dice that causes this damage. So what else could be going on? Well, it turns out that our amazing internal security system can be weakened by threats from the outside world, too. Now, this number is, wow, 42%. It's staggering, but you know what? It's also incredibly hopeful. It means nearly half of cancer cases are linked to things we can actually influence. Things like smoking, for instance, can directly assault our DNA, or something like obesity can create constant inflammation, which just wears down our body's defenses over time. The big takeaway here is that we have a real say in this. But it's not always about the choices we consciously make, is it? There are other threats out there that are way harder to avoid. Things that are quietly seeping into our modern lives. And yeah, I'm talking about microplastics. And if you're wondering just how big a deal this has become, well, take a look at this. It's startling stuff from recent research. Between just 2016 and 2024, the amount of microplastics found in human brains shot up by almost 50%. So these tiny particles aren't just in the ocean anymore. They are getting inside of us at a really alarming rate. So how in the world are they getting in? Well, mostly we're eating them. When a plastic water bottle gets hot in your car, it can shed particles right into your water. Same thing when you microwave food in a plastic container. And it even comes to us through the food chain. We eat fish that have already consumed plastics. Now, scientists are still working hard to pin down the direct link to cancer, but there's no question that this is another one of those invisible threats putting stress on our bodies. All right, so we've got threats from the inside and threats from the outside. And I know it can sound pretty daunting, but here's the thing. We are not defenseless, not even close. Let's talk about the powerful arsenal we have to fight back. We basically have this powerful two-front approach. On one side, we have incredible medical advancements like chemotherapy and game-changing stem cell transplants. And on the other side, we have the power of prevention. And it turns out that all those things that help prevent cancer, protecting your skin, not smoking, eating fresh food, they also just happen to help you avoid things like plastics. But now, here is where the story takes a really wild and unexpected turn. What if there's another ally in this fight that we never ever saw coming? What if nature itself is starting to fight back? This is just absolutely mind-blowing. Scientists have found a fungus way down in the dark depths of the ocean that literally eats plastic. It's almost like the planet got so fed up with our mess that it just evolved its own cleanup crew. And look at how efficient it is. This is what makes it such a potential game changer. A normal plastic bottle can sit in a landfill for 500 years. This fungus, it can do the job in 5. Just let that sink in for a moment. 500 years versus 5. That is revolutionary. And the process is just beautiful in its simplicity. So first, the UV rays from the sun kind of cook the plastic, breaking it down just a bit. Then, the fungus comes along and just munches on it for energy. But the absolute best part, the kicker, its waste product isn't some other toxic gunk. It's clean water. I mean, come on. This thing literally turns our trash into water. So it really leaves you with this one big thought. Here we are, fighting these invisible wars with all of our amazing human technology and our willpower, but is it possible that in all of our efforts, we've been overlooking the greatest ally we've had all along, nature itself?